Welcome to Manufacture Morgan Hill, a campaign showcasing the dynamic manufacturing companies fueling Morgan Hill's economy. Today, we're joined by the City of Morgan Hill's Economic Development Director, who will share insights into the city's commitment to supporting manufacturing, fostering economic growth, and enhancing community prosperity.
Hi, my name's Matt Mahood. I'm the Economic Development Director for the City of Morgan Hill. Prior to joining the city, I spent just over 30 years working in the private sector, most recently serving as the president and CEO of two of the largest chambers of commerce in California, first in Sacramento and then in San Jose. Chambers of commerce work at the intersection of community and business, and I've always been inspired in trying to build a community that supports business and supports economic growth. And my opportunity to come to Morgan Hill came along when my path kind of crossed with Edith Ramirez, and I was looking for a new opportunity. And we got to talking about what was happening in Morgan Hill, with the growth that they've been experiencing and the opportunities that they have. And it just came to be. So I joined the City of Morgan Hill in July of 2021. The thing that excites me most about working in the City of Morgan Hill is that, to begin with, this community has just amazing amenities. The quality of life here is great. It's still a fairly rural community compared to the rest of Silicon Valley, but the opportunities with the business parks and the opportunity to grow jobs and bring additional retail and services is just unique. Many cities in Silicon Valley are completely built out. They're just doing infill projects, and here we have the opportunity to bring jobs, bring new retail opportunities, new restaurants, new services into the community, and just make it even more vibrant than it's ever been. The thing I find most rewarding about the work that we do in economic development is when we can solve somebody's problems, especially if they're going through an expansion or a tenant improvement or going through a development project, and we can help them get through that process quicker. We can expedite them, and we can bring people together to identify solutions to problems they might be having, and or help them get connected to people or resources that can help them. So the most rewarding thing is just seeing businesses continue to grow and thrive. So our mission in the Office of Economic Development is really three parts. One is to help Morgan Hill grow quality jobs. So our first and foremost goal in there is to attract good quality employers to Morgan Hill. The second is to help grow revenue for the general fund, and we do that by continuing to support and attract new retail and restaurants into the City of Morgan Hill and services that the community wants. And those taxes come in the form of sales taxes, hotel taxes, and property tax. And the third is protecting the quality of life. So we believe that we can grow jobs and that we can grow revenue while creating an environment where residents still want to work and raise a family. The Economic Development Department, we focus on growing jobs and growing revenue by bringing forward policies and recommendations to the City Council that support business growth, that support business retention and business expansion. Some of the programs that our office can help manufacturers grow in the City of Morgan Hill, first and foremost, would be the Grow Morgan Hill Fund, which is a SBA loan program, and we can work with an employer to help connect them to SBA and the Grow Morgan Hill Fund, where they get preferred services to potentially get an SBA loan. The second is fee deferral programs. When businesses are often expanding or moving into larger facilities, there's going to be impact fees. We can do two things. We can help freeze those fees so they don't go up over a period of time. And we can also do a fee deferral program so those fees can be paid over a 5-year period at a nominal interest rate. So one of the great things about Morgan Hill is that we have some great employers in Morgan Hill, but 20% of our employment is made up of manufacturers. And there's a reason for that. Morgan Hill is a great place for manufacturing, and it has been for many years. Morgan Hill offers some great infrastructure for manufacturers, some great industrial space. In fact, we're now home to about 1 million square feet of new Class A industrial space. And the cost of that space to lease is less than it is in the cities to our north. So we have a competitive advantage when it comes to the cost of facilities. We also have an available workforce. We know that our workforce that comes in Morgan Hill, yes, we have workforce that lives in Morgan Hill, but because we're centrally located, we're able to attract employees from both the south, from Gilroy, Hollister, farther south, and from employees from San Jose who come on a reverse commute. What we also find in Morgan Hill is a great economic development department who's willing to assist manufacturers as they're looking to come to Morgan Hill and they're looking to expand, and a community that is very welcoming when new employers come to the community. The economic development team started the Manufacture Morgan Hill campaign after we had visited a couple of our local manufacturers, and we kind of looked at each other and were like, I think we need to do more to help this industry sector. We have over 100 manufacturers in Morgan Hill. We know that the economy is a little difficult right now. We developed a campaign to promote Morgan Hill as a destination for not just manufacturers to locate in Morgan Hill, but also to promote those manufacturers to the rest of Silicon Valley and to the world, to tell them, hey, here are the manufacturers in Morgan Hill. If you have a need for something to be manufactured, advanced manufacturing, something to be prototyped, do it locally. You can do it here in Morgan Hill. It's right close to Silicon Valley, and you're close to your customers and your suppliers. And it really shortens the supply chain. So again, it's a competitive advantage, and we really wanted to kind of showcase the reason why manufacturing is in Morgan Hill and why it's a competitive advantage for Silicon Valley companies that do manufacturing to do it locally and do it onshore. One of our key roles in economic development is business retention and expansion. So first and foremost, our team works to keep the employers we have in Morgan Hill. The second is to help them grow, hopefully in Morgan Hill. And the third is to attract new employers to Morgan Hill. It's much easier for us to keep the employers we have and help them expand than to recruit, especially in the state of California. We have some amazing facilities here in Morgan Hill, and it wasn't always the case. The city of Morgan Hill did lose a couple of employers who were expanding to other cities, but now we have industrial space where it's easier for companies to expand, and we've seen some great expansions recently with Pinnacle, Torre Advanced Manufacturing, and Sempera Organics have all grown recently in Morgan Hill, moving from smaller facilities to much larger facilities in our business parks. Up until a couple years ago, Morgan Hill had an industrial vacancy rate of less than 3%, but most recently we've had some significant projects completed. 2 years ago, the Butterfield 5 project was completed that brought into the market 400,000 square feet of new Class A industrial space. That project is slowly leasing up, but there's available space in that project. Most recently, earlier this year, the Cochrane Technology Center came online with just over 500,000 square feet of new Class A industrial spread out over 5 buildings right off of Highway 101 at Cochrane, just giving amazing access to someone who wants to bring advanced manufacturing to Morgan Hill. And then we have an older facility, but it has been updated and refurbished, is 755 Jarvis, which is 265,000 square feet of industrial space. And all of these buildings are already powered. Some of these buildings have 4,000 amps capacity ready to go and are move-in ready. One of the key advantages that Morgan Hill has in not just attracting employers, but keeping employers is the ability to recruit and retain a workforce. I've previously mentioned the quality of life that we have in Morgan Hill. It's really a great place to live with great schools, restaurants, services, parks, community facilities, but also there's the affordability. Morgan Hill is more affordable than many locations in Silicon Valley, and the city has a fairly robust affordable housing program that many employees can qualify for. And it's not just for the line employees, but it's also for all the employees that an employer will have, from someone who's working on the manufacturing line to an engineer who might be designing something that's going to be manufactured. So additionally, one of the key advantages of being located in Morgan Hill is infrastructure. With being just 20 minutes south of San Jose, we're close to San Jose International Airport, not too far from San Francisco or Oakland International Airports. We're close to the Port of Oakland, which gives you capability to a seaport and also to railroad lines. Additionally, we're very close to a talent hub for Silicon Valley, which is San Jose State University, Stanford University, and of course, a phenomenal community college system that does a lot of workforce training and development for us. So manufacturing has been a staple in Morgan Hill for many, many years. It really does support our local economy. It creates a steady stream of jobs, not just entry-level jobs, but high-level technology jobs of scientists and engineering who are actually designing products that are being manufactured here in Morgan Hill. Manufacturers, obviously they employ people. Those employees go out, they live in the community, they spend their money in the community, they shop at local stores, they dine at local restaurants. That's a great benefit to all the other businesses in town, but also they generate business-to-business tax and commerce. And obviously as businesses grow and they invest in their businesses, the city sees benefits in increased property tax that help support the city's general fund. So one of the programs the city has partnered with our manufacturers with over the course of the last several years, and partnering with the Morgan Hill Chamber of Commerce, is a Manufacturing Day program where we have some of our manufacturers open their doors and we bring students from Morgan Hill Unified School District to come in and take tours of these manufacturers to see what it's like to work in a manufacturing plant. And yes, they can see what the line workers are doing, but they can also see how some of these products are designed by engineers and scientists and some of the work that takes place behind the scenes. So they really get an opportunity to see what it's like in the real world as opposed to just seeing in the classroom. And we really appreciate the partnership that we have with these manufacturers in Morgan Hill that work with us so closely. Morgan Hill has seen some recent success with our manufacturers expanding in the city of Morgan Hill. And the first is Sempera Organics. We took a tour of their facility about 2 years ago. They're shoehorned into about 8,000 square feet. We were talking to their founder and we were kind of exploring, like, how long can you stay here? And he said probably about 6 months to a year, but they're looking for new space. And so the idea kind of clicked into my head, okay, keep Sempera in the back of your mind. And then about a year later, as we were looking at talking to another manufacturer, Pinnacle, who was expanding and potentially leaving their space, I connected the dots. And Pinnacle was leaving about 40,000 square feet, going to 85,000 square feet. So I introduced Sempera Organics to the space where Pinnacle was leaving. So Sempera has since moved into the space that Pinnacle left. Pinnacle has moved into 85,000 square feet, doubling their manufacturing space. So a great success story there, as well as we've seen Toray Advanced Composites literally double and triple in size in the city of Morgan Hill in the last 5 years, taking 70,000 square feet of available space that became available when their neighbor shut down and moved out. And Toray is a great win, globally recognized company that's just doing great things in their manufacturing space. So one thing that we think Morgan Hill has a distinct advantage is ever since the COVID pandemic and we saw all these supply chain issues is the ability for companies to really onshore some of their manufacturing and shorten their supply chain. We have available space for companies to do that in Morgan Hill, as well as now we're starting to see a little bit of trade wars and increasing tariffs. I think there's incentives for companies to look at how do they bring manufacturing back to the United States, eliminating potential tariffs that they might be struck with. But also I think the most important thing is really shortening that supply chain and that real-time turnaround. When you bring a prototype and you're located in Silicon Valley and you have a prototype that you need to be developed, you can do it right here in Morgan Hill. There's no international timelines to deal with. There's no international travel. It's just a quick opportunity. It's just a short drive down the road to interact between potentially the R&D facility and the advanced manufacturer who's actually building prototypes. We're excited about attracting some new, diverse, advanced manufacturing to Morgan Hill. I'm really curious to see who's going to come to take advantage of this great space and this great quality of life. I'm really excited about working with the commercial brokers who are showing these spaces and meeting with these potential employers and explaining to them why Morgan Hill is the place for their business to grow and to expand, and just welcoming them into the community and welcoming them into the fabric of our community, and then watching them grow and expand. To ensure that the City of Morgan Hill stays competitive in the manufacturing space, in 2022, the city adopted an industrial preservation and optimization policy, which assures that the land that's identified for industrial and manufacturing remains that way. The city is currently looking at about 400,000 plus square feet of additional square feet that's going through the permitting and entitlement process. And with the additional 1 million square feet of property that came online in the last year and a half, 2 years, we're in a really good position to continue to support manufacturing for many years to come. So if I'm a manufacturer and I'm an employer and I'm looking for a place to locate my business or to grow my business, I would look at Morgan Hill for these reasons. 1, available space. 2, affordability. And 3, available, diverse workforce. So I've spent a lot of time talking about advanced manufacturing and industrial parks and business parks, but I want to make it really clear that the City of Morgan Hill has an amazing quality of life and a diverse economy. We have an amazing downtown. The city has spent significant time and energy and money investing. And it's really, downtown Morgan Hill has really become the family room and the living room of our community, with some of the region's best dining and experiences that you can have. And the city continues to invest in programming along with our nonprofits to put on festivals and family-oriented events. Additionally, the city has an amazing outdoor sports and recreational facility, an aquatics facility, and a community recreation facility, unlike any other community in the Bay Area that supports family-centered activities. So one thing I want to make sure I mention is that the City of Morgan Hill is pro-business, not just in the economic development team, but across our city and across our city teammates, whether it's planning, building, code enforcement, engineering, public services. All of our city teammates are committed to making your business successful and helping it thrive.
To learn more about existing Morgan Hill manufacturers and available space, visit our website at choosemorganhill.com.